You heard acoustic guitars on your mum and dad's record collection, but other than that, they were only a filler. They were only like a texture in stuff in the 80s and the 90s. They were just a textural thing. But to put acoustic guitars at the front instead of anything else it's kind of a nice thing to do now. It's kind of different.
You know, when people hear, oh, two guys with guitars, they think, oh my God, this is going to be really boring. I guess that's what we're trying to not do, to do something, to do more than you think could be done with acoustic guitars.
Music is not about instruments. Music's about philosophy, excitement, creating frisson, making a reaction that comes from you personally and goes out into the world. It's an abstract thing. So break it down into like, use this instrument, therefore you are. Just, you know, it reflects the idiocy of people. Twist, snap, I love you. Twist, snap, I love you. Twist, snap, I love you. I love you. I love you. And we love you too. Yeah,
People talk about new acoustic movement, but we don't hang out, we don't go to parties, the new acoustic party. We're only people who make acoustic music come.
I don't know, I mean, I think it's more a journalist thing. They love naming new movements. And...
Oh, I know, it should be called the contemporary acoustic movement. Because we are, you know, there's always been, we're just one of the new young artists today that are making this kind of music. And I think what binds all these artists together, like Touring Breaks, Am Kloot and Balladron Boy, is that we all are young people singing about how it's being young now, you know, we sing about our lives. And therefore it's different from how it's been before, but sound-wise it's not really that different, and it's not really so important that it's new. have been listening to music that, for example, Simon and Garfunkel hadn't heard.
Yes.
We do put this into our music.
And I think, I mean, the tradition we're coming from, I mean, we're not striving back to the 1960s, because I haven't been listening very much to music of the 1960s. I mean, we've always been, I mean, I was young in the 1980s and the 1990s, and I was listening to all the music of that time. And that's kind of where we're coming from. We're taking the experiences from our lives, our modern lives, and writing songs about it in a format which is kind of old. I think that's what new. The new thing about it is that our songs are about modern life.
I ask you to come over, and within half an hour you're at my door. I'd never really known you, but I realized that the one you were before I changed into somebody whom I wouldn't mind to put the kettle on. Still I don't know what I can save you from. I don't know what I can save you from.
Thank you very much. You're very quiet now. I'm very pleased.
Your album title, Quiet is the New Loud, was it meant as a slogan, really?
I mean,
yes.
Yeah. It's a way of saying that even though we're quiet, we want to be heard, and we're conscious about what we're doing. The fact that we have made a very stripped down, minimalist.
Yeah, particularly
album
because
is,
people.
Yeah, that we know what we're doing, and that we could have been a rock band, but we're not a rock band. We're doing this on purpose.
Yeah, you know, we could have. You know, it's not because we don't know how to arrange a song with drums and more orchestrations. It's been because we choose to. We found that there's so many other people who are doing this really well, and we try to see where is their hole in the music making in the world today.
The fact that we're doing something that not many other people are doing gives us a kind of advantage. I mean, when we perform on stage, I feel there's a kind of strength in just being two people. It's kind of a brave thing to do, to be alone, because you're very vulnerable when you're alone on stage. But taking that step and being there, just the two of us, and not having a band around us gives us a kind of strength.
And I'm free, free falling, and I'm free, free falling. It's a long day living in Reseda. There's a freeway run through the yard. She's a good girl, crazy about Elvis, loves horses and her boyfriend too. And I'm free, free falling. Yes, I'm free, free falling. Har du sett det?
Ja.
Fantastisk!
Du säger.
Utroligt!
Music, I think, is two things. It's notes and space. That's what music is. And sometimes the space is the most important part. That creates any tension or anything like that. So you can have a lot more emotional weight or heaviness if you use space, because it creates tension. You can use it to create tension, as opposed to quietness or space as just a mellow thing. It can be mellow, but you can use it to create tension. A pause and wait. The audiences or people listening to the record, you can do a sequence in the music and you just put a pause in, and they know what's coming next, but it's the wait that gives it its fizz.
So but isn't space just silence? I mean, it's
much more.
No, because your mind can feel that there's something coming next, and it's what is it? How much? This is Kath. This is Kath, landlady. It's Kath who's landlady of the castle.
I just might add that he's never ever bought a drink in here.
That's not true.
Ever.
That's not true.
Well, he's never paid for one.
He's never paid for one, no. He always has a drink and somebody else pays. Always.
Thanks, babe. Hell for leather, lathered, drunk. You soused, you pissed, you sunk. The jukebox is drunk just along the way. I had a call last Saturday to say I'd thrown my friends away, reversed the charges on the mall. I made a lot of calls. Is there a storm coming? Or are we just another shower? Is there a storm warning? Or someone just cut the power? Is there a storm coming? Or are we just another shower? Is there a storm coming? It's coming. Free from harm, rang the bells or raised alarms. I would have kept them all at bay, except the thoughts I heard you say. You're the leper boy, you can't come in. The monkey gods are the new kings. You're out, you're in, you're out, you're in, you're out, you're in, you're out.
Is there a storm coming? Or are we just another shower? Is there a storm warning? A song and just cut the power? Is there a storm coming? Or are we just another shower? Is there a storm coming?
Some music requires, you know, to be loud and some doesn't, and it, you know, we can do that. We can do it very quietly. We do other stuff as well. I mean, you know, we work on all different levels. It depends what it is you're saying. I mean, you know, you could be in a very big, you could be in a massive screaming row with someone, you know, and it's very full on, and you might be screaming things that, even as you're saying them, I mean, you know, obviously you say some things in complete rage that, you know, you really do believe that you mean them. And sometimes you say things that you think, oh God, I really don't mean this, but I've already started, so I'm not going to back down. And you know, I had argument with people, this guy one time, and he just, in the middle of it all, he just whispered, okay, yeah, I'll be there in a minute. He just whispered something to me. That had the most, and that was the bit that was like, ooh, shit.
Johnny writes it, and it's almost like puking a song up. He just writes it, goes straight out, and he has a harder time taking away instead of putting in. So he does that, and he brings his guitar and his voice, and he does it in half an hour. We've got that song, and then we'll record it. And a lot of the songs on that LP are just like the third time that we've played it. And often some of them are like the first time that we've played it. The last song on that record, we played that twice, and that was it. The first time it recorded, that was the one that we used. And if you do that, then you capture spontaneity, you play off each other. You know, we were just like, you know, we knew what each other were going to kind of do, but you could feel it. So if you do stuff dead quick, instead of going over and over and editing and revising and all that, it becomes boring and dull, and you get bored with your own thing. But if you do it quickly and you play it and you record it, then you capture something dead quick, innit? All them brilliant jazz records when people just improvise, just turned the mic on and that was it. That's music.
Hey, tell me about your guitar. How important is that to you?
It's not my guitar. I don't have a guitar. It's Peter's, that one. Well, you know, you write songs, and I just kind of I'm singing all the time. What I really like to do is sing. I sing all the time, really annoyingly so. When I was a kid, I didn't realise this till later. I thought everyone sang all the time. But my mum and dad and my sister, they were singing all the time. And if a record comes on, I'm usually singing along to it. It doesn't really matter what it is. If I don't know the words, then I make my own up. I usually know the tune. So when I'm wandering out, I'm singing quite a lot of the time. So, and then sometimes you go, oh, hold on, well, you know, that's not anybody else. So then I go, I call that one of mine then. And then I sit down and work out what it is. So, you know, it's not, I don't have a big thing with the guitar.
Didn't think you'd know the colour bleeds to black. One day you can't let go, then you're never coming back. You watch yourself when you talk to me, 'cause I've got you an 8060
You're behaving like animals.
We met when we were about 8 or 9 years old in 1984 at primary school. It's just like one of those old friendships that everyone has, you know, one person that they know for years and years. You have a separate language with each other that no one else understands, you know. That's what happens when you're friends with someone for that long. We kind of understand each other quite quickly. And so I think what we try and say quite a lot with music and stuff is quite buried. It's not always tangible straight away. But it helps that we know each other because we can kind of get to the root of whatever it is we're talking about quite quickly. I mean, partly that's the kind of thing, like the music that I used to listen to, it was always that, it was anything with a dark twinge used to get me going a lot quicker than something pure happy and pure nice, you know. And that's something we do consciously do a little, which is, it's kind of like, the music can be quite sweet sounding sometimes, but the lyrics usually aren't sweet. So I guess that's a trick or something that we do, but, you know, it's like a David Lynch film or something, you know, you get the white picket fences and the blue skies and suddenly someone has a heart attack and they're dead. And it's just an interesting world to put your song in.
Take the fast road and get going now, before you leave no trace. Time in this place was closer than my friends. Remember my eyes, not my face. Innocence has no sense in this. Staring into a black hole. A panic at the quiet times, decisions at the door. A panic at the quiet times. If fate leads me so much more. Outside seems so cold. I need to climb. I gotta find some tenderness before I get too old. Some comes from behind and hurts my eyes. It dries my hair so nice. I watch the boiling sea and meet the open sky, but my soul still feels like it's ice. I panic at the quiet times, decisions at the door. I panic at the quiet times.
I think there's much more aggression in what you can do with two guitars and two vocals as opposed to being in a heavy metal band and making as much noise as you possibly can. I think simple songs can be strong because you let some sort of passion come out that doesn't get a chance otherwise. If you fill them up with complex arrangements and put too much in, you lose the kind of primal aggression or romance or whatever it is. You can lose something. A lot of the music you listen to has got so much going on. When you start stripping stuff back, it actually sounds fresh. And at the time, this was what we were doing. Felt like really modern again. It was like no one's doing this. This is different. And then we released it, and suddenly there's this whole kind of acoustic idea happening, and it's very strange because we had no idea that other people were doing the same thing. So we released it, and suddenly everyone's doing it. It's like, huh? So that's kind of weird how it ends up, you know, when you actually put it out in the world. There's thousands of people in bedrooms with 4 tracks, probably thinking exactly the same thing. But that's the way it goes.
Oh, please save me from myself. I can't be the only one stuck on a shelf. You said you'd always fall for the underdog. I've been dreaming of jet streams and kicking on dust. 37,000 foot of wanderlust. Oh, the skyline number 9 ticked up on my mind. Can't hear me screaming out loud through the telephone lines. Oh, please save me from myself. I can't be the only one stuck on a shelf. You said it'd always fall for the underdog. La, 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 la. When you get a piece of music, it comes very quickly, and if you think it's right, it's right. And there's something in the way the music falls together with that word and that particular level of intensity, or not intensity. But the thing is, that within songs, is not to just do one thing. You know, you've got to be able to express some joy in life, and also to be able to express some resentments, and to express some degree of memory and sadness. You've got to be able to do the full gamut. I'm not saying we've done that, but you've got it. That's what you're trying to do. To recreate in an abstract way all the thoughts and feelings that you go through. I think that's the idea. Promote the sweet saccharin of love and devotion. Evoke the rich tapestry of all that emotion. Forget all about that and fall in this ocean with me. With me. There's blood on your legs. I love you, there's blood on your legs. I love you, there's blood on your legs. da 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 da. There's blood on your legs. I love you. There's blood on your legs. I love you. There's blood on your legs. I love you. I love you. I love you. I mean, I'm well aware that a lot of people might, for instance, that lyric, "There's blood on your legs, I love you." It seems a perfectly natural thing to say for me to my girlfriend, which I did say to an ex-girlfriend of mine a few years ago. It's a dangerous lyric. It sounds, well, it could, and it still is, because within a love affair, people do feel hatred towards each other. It happens, doesn't it? Love is scary.
That's the truth, Ruth. Yeah. It's, you know, it's like all these films, you know, what's Hollywood doing? Happy ends at the end of films. That's absolute bloody rubbish, man. You know.
Well, I don't know.
Well, man, give them 6 months. What happens at the end of the film? People live on and then they bloody fall out, man.
Well, I mean,
maybe they do, maybe they don't, but you can't leave us with that, like, you know, because all they want to do is make us buy more
I do
burgers.
appreciate what
It's
you're saying.
not
I mean,
reality.
I don't feel like I have a bleak thing on life. I don't, you know. It's just...
No, well, it's
some
not
things a
bleak.
bit
It's
right.
not like you're saying what the end is.
No.
I'm not saying what the end is either, but, you know, what Hollywood's given us, which is a major force in what kind of everybody's buying into, it's not right at all.
I know, but I like When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah, do you? Yeah. Yeah, well, I must admit, you know, I'm pretty shallow myself. I'll go for it.
I like When Harry
But,
Met Sally.
you know, it's not true, though, is it? Let's face it.
It can be.
Bollocks.
Anyway.
Bollocks. Can I have a pint, Kath? I'll pay for it.
Excellent. This is my 3rd pint of Guinness now and no money has exchanged hands.
I'm just getting mine.
You're only getting yours?
Oh, yeah.
What's your take on all this, then, Kath?
People talk about it as if it were a film, as if it were poetry, as if it were a book, as if it were real life. It's none of those things. It's a song. And songs, you know, that you can't say this is what life's about in a song. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a songwriter or not, or a musician. Well, I've never met anybody in life who can tell me what life's about. I've met loads of people who pretend that they know what it's about, but I've never met anybody who ever. I don't think anybody ever has. Have you ever met anybody who can tell you what life's about? Nobody knows. It's ridiculous. I mean, you know, it probably is about something. I'll go that far. I think most of us would, you know, it's probably about something, but none of us ever had any idea what it is. There's just these weird feelings.
That's life. As funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on a dream, but I don't let it bring me down, 'cause this final world spinning around. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down, over and out, but I know one thing. Each time I find myself laying flat on my face, I pick myself up, I get back in the race, 'cause that's life. Many times I've thought of cutting out, I can't deny it, but my heart won't buy it, my heart won't buy it. If there's nothing shaking round here by true life, I'm gonna curl up in a big ball and die. My. Thank you, John.